Hi everyone, welcome to another video from Data Streams Academy. So today we are going to talk about EC2 instances. In previous video we learned how we can create an S3 bucket in AWS. In today's video we are going to talk about how we can create EC2 instances and as well as like what are the different types of EC2 instances, right? So I have either you can search here for EC2 instances, EC2, or like if you have already searched you will be able to find that in the recents. So I haven't launched anything, so I'm racing into this landing page where EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. So you can read a few of the things like fully resizable compute capacity, support virtual any workload, so highest level of control. And so what is it EC2? Just to keep it simple and straight, it's kind of a virtual machine which you are setting up in AWS to manage your workload, maybe processing your data or whatever it could be, right? So based on your need, you would be able to have like different types of wide variety of instance options which we will be talking about today, right? Yeah, some of the use cases. So the one interesting part when I have noticed in AWS, right, it is purely self-service. Like if you wanted to do this, right, you have videos available how to do it. You will also have tool tips coming on your way if you are going to do something, right? All these directions are there. Only thing which we should have is like very basic understanding what we need, how to do that. So that is all I'm going to cover here. But just keep this in mind. You have plenty of options which you would be able to make of use of the services, right? Yeah, so there are few options which it is covering, so we don't need to worry all that. So I'm going to launch instance where I'm going to create my first EC2 instance here. See, it seems like you may be newly launching assistance. So if I click on take walkthrough, right, everywhere I can click that here. So I would be able to like get this like directions how to do all these things, right? So I'm not going for that option. So let's just close this. So what I need to give a name. So it's like of a tag, right? So I'm giving it as like my EC2 hyphen learning. Then application and OS image. So what is this? An AMI. What is AMI? A Amazon machine image. An AMI is a template that contains the software configuration, operating system, application server, applications required to launch in your instance. Because when you are planning to create an EC2 instance, right, you need an operating system, right? Either like you can use these templates to create this, like suppose same what you did, right? There are tools like Terraform and all which you can create some templates and you can create use it. So like if you wanted to choose any, like if I'm thinking I'm going to set up something very plain in Windows, I can choose that. I'll choose Red Hat here. Okay, so now under Red Hat, what are the options do I have, right? So now like we have different, so there it is. If you see this free tier eligible, because I have this free tier, so that means you can do all these things without spending a single rupee, right? So you can see I have selected, you can select any of these configurations saying that okay, you want Mac OS, all these are free tier eligible. It is based on your need, right? Like so around 6510 are available in marketplace, so you would be able to take any of this, right? So it is like I can say a pre-configured OS or things like that, right? So you will, if you read, you will understand it more. Like Amazon Linux is a modern general purpose Linux based OS that comes with 5 year long. So it's like you are selecting, so I'm just selecting the 64-bit unified this portal. So I'll click on confirm changes. It is taking time. It's taking a little bit time, yeah. So now we have like this configuration has been selected. Okay, so this is the OS which I am going to do, Amazon Linux 223 AMI. Is based on your need, you would be able to choose whatever the software configuration which you need. Okay, now I need to select my instance type. So this is a pretty interesting part, right? Like you need a like virtual machine memory. Very basic thing is like, I think software part we have already selected what we need. Now we need to choose like which hardware we need, right? You can see T2 micro, all these things if you click on drop down, right? T2 nano, you will see many of these. So I have an if you click on compare instance type, you would redirect it to this page which I have already taken. So all these things, right? If you are planning to take certifications on AWS, right, you would be learning about all these things in detail. What are the different types of EC2 instances and all? But on a very high level, let me take few minutes to talk about this. General purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized, right? Compute is nothing but CPU, memory is nothing but RAM, right? So general purpose is like, if your requirement is very like normal, like you don't have any particular requirement to be like the process is going to be more memory utilized or CPU utilized, you don't have any such requirement, you can choose any of the general purpose one. And all these general purpose, you have different tires. So inside those tires you have a different configuration. We have seen this T2 nano, right? So that is one virtual CPU and half GB. So it's, you don't need to think about the CPU credits, but yeah, network performance is low. So based on what you need, right? Like EBS only is another storage mechanism, so you do not have dedicated it. You will be configuring the EBS for this. So yeah, so like it is maybe let me take any other let's take this memory optimized one, right? So generally we use memory optimized, maybe they may have said this somewhere. Sorry, memory optimized is used like if you have this database related activities and all, right? Like because you need to like have this data stored in memory for a long time. So there your configuration is like, okay, my RAM should be faster enough, my RAM should be performing very well. So this is going to be that way. Okay, so we got to be working on these things. Yeah, so yeah, memory used utilized, right? I missed somewhere. Yeah, like what is CBS? I think I covered that. Let me clarify that. CBS is a storage where you can mount to an EC2 instance. Suppose think that you are going to decommission your EC2, but you wanted to retain the like OS software and all. You can detach and keep the EBS. EBS is a elastic blob storage, I believe. Right? Yeah. So, talking about different types, right? This is what you need to understand. Based on your requirement, you got to choose what type you need, and like how we can learn. We can come to this site and understand what are the different type. Okay, my purpose is compute optimized, so I need to take any of these series, and these series will have the cost effective high performance, like deliver up to 50 higher performance compared to C6. You can see all these, right? You can read and choose the right one, right? So now I'm taking one basic thing which is eligible in free tire, because I only have free tire. So this is very basic because we are not going to do any operations here, right? So now next is like you can use a key pair security connect to the instance. Ensure that you have access to the selected key pair before you launch the instance. I don't think I have any key pair. I haven't created anything. So I'm going to click on new key pair. So this is nothing but the encryption concept, right? The key pair allow you to connect to your instance securely because you need a security, right? So I'm going to give same. So there are two types: RSA encryption, private public key pair, EDA encrypted the private. So we don't need to worry about all these things. I'm going to take private and creating a key pair. So I have selected this. So I already installed this file. See like how we would be using this. So I clicked on DSA. So I have selected this. So network, I'm not planning to change any of these things. So enabling like assigning public info. I'm not making any changes like security group. Select an existing. Do we have one? No, right? I think we haven't created anything here in this machine. So we need to tell the system to create a security. So that is why this option comes in. If you have a security group, if you have an environment, you have your clause, right? You can choose the existing. So I'm saying that this can be accessed from anywhere. That is why this, or you can say only this IPs or my IP is this one. You can say only this IP is allowed or things like that. So I'm not making any changes. Configuration is this based on what we have selected on the top. So you will also be able to make some changes on the SSD. So this is, yeah, if you wanted to add more storage, right, you can add here. So you can add one more EBS volume here. So this is the root volume, and you can add another additional EBS if you need, right? So I'm not making much changes here. So we'll launch this instance. Yeah, they said like you cannot keep that allowed from everywhere because that's not a recommended method. That was the warning which we had come before it was launching. What I noticed is like AWS is super fast, so they build these instances just like that, right? We didn't even take 30 seconds to create this instance, right? So now I wanted to connect to my instance. All I am doing is the direction, right? Connect to my instance. So we are going to be in the session manager because we need to, SSM agent was unable to connect to the system manager endpoint. It is self with the service. So you need to connect it. Like now we have this connect EC2 instance connector is, yeah, you have to click on connect. So that was the public IP. Sorry. I'll show you how you would be logging into this machine. Right. Yeah, so now like you remember I have created a Linux machine. I've connected to that machine. I'm not good at Linux, so but if you know any of the command, so do we have echo here? So let's try. Yeah, echo is there, right? See this there. So we have logged out. So you would be able to write all your command, and if it is Windows, you will be able to log into that Windows machine. So this is as simple as that, where you would be logging into a machine, and when you reach this dashboard page, right, EC2 instances page, you can see what is your status. Okay, my instance is running, and this is my instance configuration. Status is initializing. So I think if you refresh, or you can click here, I don't need to refresh all the way there. So you would be able to like see where it is, and yeah, it is running. If you go on right, so you'll be able to see the IP address and all these things, right? Monitoring is disabled, we haven't, and what key we are using to connect. All these things are there. And if you think you wanted to connect, you can click and connect. So this is the same screen, right, which you have seen. And you can click on connect. You will be redirecting to that connection page. Or if you think if you want to stop, yeah, let us go to actions. Have connect, view details. So you also have option to, yeah, this is for sorry, this is for launching additional instances. You can, if you wanted to launch a new instance, you can click here. Yeah, this is establishing the connection. I try to connect again, right? So the same screen, right? And going back, I don't want to instance. So instance state, you can stop if you want. So I'm going to stop this instance right away. it will be built as it resources after stopping. Yeah. So what they are saying, however, if it is stopped, there are some resources like if there are like EBS and all, right, you will be built for the associated elastic IP address and EBS volumes, because we are only stopping. That means like that OS running would be stopped, but however, like your storage is still consuming, right? You got to pay for that, right? So now what we need to do, the instance, I can see reboot the instance, terminate or delete. Before terminate, we'll also try. In some cases, I think it is already stopped. You can refresh it and see. Yeah, it stopped. So there are other options like start, because there were force stop before it was like reinitializing. So my purpose is to delete, because now we know how we can choose and how we would be choosing the right instances for us, and we can also add additional resources and all these things. And here also, right, if you instance from template. So what is instance from template? I'll just show you that option as well. Suppose if you already created a template, right, so nothing but, okay, I should have shown that. So nothing but you can create such some configurations as template. When you create a new instance, you can create it as a template, so that like whenever you do that next time, right, you can launch it from that template. You don't need to give all these configurations, all these things, you don't need to do it. And we can also do this like infrastructure as coding, right? If you have heard about Terraform and all, we can also build these things using the code. Okay, so this is the instance. I think it's not going to work. So now where we have to, so we have to go to EC2, go to dashboard. You can see this, like how many instances are running, nothing, because we stopped it, right? And two security groups are there, like instances, you have one instance, however it is not running, and you have one volume which is associated with this, right? You have all this information available here. And if you scroll down, you like to more getting more details, right? Okay, what is my instance ID, what is my public IP address, all this information would be available here. So for us, all we need to do is like create the instance, start the instance, and if you create the like whatever, like you also know how to connect. So this is pretty straightforward, there is nothing complicated. If you go to EC2, you will be like every instance which you created will be shown here. You can click on connect and you can connect to that, right? Yeah, so this is very basic, high level, and based on your configuration, there would be changes, and based on security, things will be changing how you wanted to set up. But my primary goal was to let you know how easy it is to create an EC2 instance, and what is EC2 instance, and what are the types of EC2 instances are there, which we have seen here. So I'm winding up this video just by showing like I'm going to delete this instance. So how do we delete the instance? On this EBS block instance, the default action on this root EBS will be deleted, and when the instance is terminated, storage on any local drive will be lost. So if you have any local drive, that would be lost, and root EBS also would be deleted, right? This is my EC2 ID, instance ID. So I'm deleting it. It's deleted. So if I refresh, this would be gone. So I think it's still processing what they are doing. They are shutting down. It successfully initiated the termination. Yeah. Hope this is clear. Let's provide the information on it is marked as terminated. So we will have this information here. No worries. Yeah, thank you for watching. Hope this is clear how we can create an EC2 instance in AWS. So my goal is to cover a couple of resources in AWS, and give you an insight about what the service is and how this can be used. Okay, hope this video is helpful. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.